All right, thank you. Good evening, guys. Good evening. My name is Matthew Gordon, and this is
Al Hamish.
and if anyone can pronounce his name by the end of the session, then I'll get a special star. We're from Alsay. Alsay is an independent organisation that facilitates community visioning processes, and we use a mix of traditional approaches, like the one we've got here, where we're all coming together on a cold evening to plan a vision for this municipality. But we also use online processes as well to get community feedback from people who couldn't make it tonight. And so we've got a range of feedback that's coming from the community, which enriches the whole process. Before we begin, I'd like to ask the Mayor just to say a couple of words to welcome us all.
How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for coming tonight. First, I'd like to pay our deepest and utmost respect to the Aboriginal people, especially the Wurundjeri people, the tradition and custodians of our land. Thank you for taking your time up tonight to come here and put your questions, your visions forward for the Yarra Rangers. This is your night. It's got nothing to do with us sitting here. We're here simply just to view and see what sort of questions and comments there are out in the community. So please speak up. Please get everybody talking about what we're doing, and be really keen to see what comes out. So thank you again.
So yeah, look, our job tonight really is to help determine what the council's priorities are for the next 20 years and to start making some recommendations for the next elected council. So the next elected council will start in about mid-November after the election is hosted on the 22nd of October this year. And so it's an opportunity for us to table feedback from the community to the new council about where you guys want to take that term of office. Now the process tonight, there's going to be a lot of group activities at each table, and we've numbered each table actually. We've got table 1 over here, table 2, 3 and 4. And at each table, what we're going to ask you to do is to elect someone to chair the conversation. And then we're also going to get you to elect someone to take notes as well, because we want to make sure that all the discussion points that are captured around each table are captured into a final report. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that's going to work in a minute. We're then going to go through the top ideas that we've been looking at through the online process. We're then going to discuss those 2 topical questions: what are we doing for the next 4 years, and what we'd like to do for the next 20. Now, you'll notice a computer at each table. I highly recommend that the person who chooses or is elected to be scribe is familiar with using Microsoft Word, because we want you to faithfully take notes of what everyone is saying in dot points. And we've actually uploaded a document on each computer to do that, because what we're going to do in the next couple of days, we're literally going to take what is said at each table and we're going to put it directly into this report. Okay? And we're going to repeat this process another 3 times across the municipality, and we're going to collect a huge amount of information, and we want to make sure that it's comprehensive, that we can trace it back to the conversations that you've had, and that it's faithful. You know, what you guys said was captured. Okay? So the scribe has got a very important job to do there. So just have a think about that when you appoint that. So I just wanted to quickly summarise what's happened today. We'll spend a couple of minutes on this before we get into the detail. So we've been running a forum on alsay.org. So the address is alsay.org/Yarra Rangers. And this has been running over the last 6 weeks. And in that time, we've received about 134 ideas from the community. We'd love to see that grow. And so perhaps this is a good opportunity to have the discussion with your fellow community members and then perhaps keep the conversation going further, so it doesn't have to end here. We've got about 700 votes across those ideas, so we're getting a bit of prioritisation going. And we've got another 3 weeks and 3 days left on that forum, so there's still plenty of time to engage and provide some more feedback into the process. In that time, we collect some basic demographics, you know, like year of birth, gender. And what we've found actually is more than a third of people contributing to this process are aged between 26 and 40 years. And there's been about another third aged between 40 to 60. And we've got about 15 to 16% aged over 60. So we're getting some pretty good reach and some diversity, which is important. There's a bias to women. We get about 2/3 of women, 1/3 men. Got to step up, folks. So this is the total engaged. Now, if we actually, everyone has got a number of votes that they can kind of spend across multiple ideas, and so if you look at the number of votes cast, we actually see a sort of an increase in the people aged between 16 to 25 by vote. So about 16% of the votes are coming from people aged between 16 and 25. Is there anyone aged between 16 and 25 here tonight, apart from myself? I'm just joking. So I think this is interesting because this is a 2020 vision, right? Well, this is a 20-year vision, and so it's the aspirations of young people, I presume, that probably have the greatest to gain in this process. So it's good to see that we've got a few people in that age group engaged. We'd like to see some more. And we've also got an even sort of distribution across those other age brackets. So that's good to see, yeah? Is that a good thing? Yeah? Where are they coming from? So this is submissions by postcode. This is always, and we can share this information if you'd like to sort of get a closer look at it later on. But we are getting a big concentration of submissions around sort of the Olinda Park area, up into Kilsyth, Lilydale, out into the Warburton, as far as Warburton East, as well as into the valley. So we're getting breadth as well, which is good. Obviously, when you kind of zone in on it, we're getting most of the concentration of ideas coming in Lilydale. It's maybe to do with sort of population dynamics, and there's a lot of people there. So that's interesting to see. What we also ask to do is when people note an idea through the online process, we also ask them to tell us a bit about what that topic is about, what are the themes or the subject matter of their idea. And we're getting all sorts of things, wide set of issues, everything from the environment to ageing population, I can see, public transport, electric cars even, phone tower issues, domestic violence, waste management services, refugees, solar. We're getting a bit of economic development, tourism. So, geez, it's a lot to work with, isn't it? And so this is a pretty interesting kind of snapshot of what's happening, or what this community sees are the other important issues. Now, just quickly before we begin, I just want to just point out a few people in the room. So tonight, actually, we've got some council staff here. Council staff, do you want to put up your hand? So Ellie, Tracy, and Marion, who have been working on this project. So they're listening very keenly to what's being said tonight, and they're very interested to hear what you guys have to say. We've also got some current councillors in the room. Do you want to just point yourselves out, guys? Yep. You should know these guys. They should know you.
It's good to see you all.
We've got a very special guest tonight. He posted an idea as soon as this forum started 6 weeks ago, but unfortunately he couldn't be here tonight, so he's made a video for us. And he's currently the leading submitter, so he's got over 100 votes on his idea. And I'm just going to play the video. He couldn't make it tonight, but he's coming to some of the other sessions.
Hi, my name is Tyler Meldenhall. I am 10 years old and I love to ride skateboards. I would like to talk to you about building a skate park in Ellie down at Symes Road at the park. I think we need a skate park in Ellie because Mount Evelyn and Yarra Junction are too far away and they get crowded with older kids and we don't get a turn. Please, could you discuss this proposal at the next council meeting, as there are many kids in Moriarty that would think this is awesome. There is enough room to build one at the park, and it's not on a main road. It is a great spot and would make living in Moriarty even better for my mates and I. It would be a cool spot to meet your friends after school and on the weekends. Thank you for voting.
All right, so that was Tyler M, and he's currently got, let's have a look here, 119 votes. Most of them actually not school-aged kids, which is interesting. So he's obviously rallied his own family and his community. And here tonight we've got Ellie Wasty, who's the Director for Social and Economic Development, to respond to Tyler's idea. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. And, you know, what a lovely thing to see for a young boy to come up with something by himself and post this online. I love the skateboard that he had in front of him. It was a great use of prop. And I thought he was also really smart because I could just see in the background a tigers. I don't know if anyone else knows that little tigers poster. He just tried to hide it. Hasn't had the best season, Tyler. But it's amazing because this is unbelievable. This is an area that I actually don't look after at council. So I emailed on the weekend. I was like, hey, what's happening with our strategy on skate parks and hike and bike? And Robin Mansfield, who's the manager for that area, came up and said, oh, well, actually that's coming to council tomorrow night, so Tuesday, you know, on Tuesday night. And there is actually a proposal for a skate park to be considered in Warra-Yallock. So it's one of these fantastic opportunities that we're going to be able to go back to Tyler and say, yes, that we are considering this, and this is something that the council will be considering. I also noticed, though, in what Tyler was saying, there was something in there for him about safety too. So there was, you know, there are skate parks around, and we do have, you know, 155 townships across 55 townships across Yarra Ranges. So we can't have a skate park for every single town. But I really want to pick up on that point about, like, he didn't feel sort of, you know, there were older kids. So I think there's probably something, you know, I'm really interested to hear from you tonight about that sort of safety element, or the community safety element, and for how kids are using our facilities and how they're, you know, feeling free and safe to do so. So, thanks.
What we're going to do right now is, first of all, Ellie, thank you so much for sharing that. And as you heard, there's elements of what Tyler shared, and there's also some bigger picture issues here around skate parks, how they relate to the communities, but also around parks and recreation and what are different facilities we want in our community. And so at your tables, we're going to spend the first 3 minutes just writing about what do we think is something that council can be doing about this particular issue, and then we're going to spend the next 3 minutes, what are some things that community can be doing, right? So for the initial 3 minutes, it's just what can council be doing? And you'll see if you're a scribe at one of the tables, it will actually say at the top, what can council be doing about this issue? And so we want you as the scribe to remember you're trying to capture as much as possible of what you're hearing. So we're collecting that in a very fair and reflective way of what you're hearing. And so capturing as much information as possible and just tapping into that space, and then we'll get it collected. And I'll transition you on to the second part where we want you to focus on community. So the first 3 minutes, what can council be doing about this issue? The next 3 minutes, what can community? We're going to start with council, okay? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I'll run out of time. Matt might even put on some music, but we'll give you 3 minutes and go.
The next idea is from a woman by the name of Belinda, or actually, should I say, a gentleman by the name of Lockie. Now, they couldn't make it here tonight, but it's about a new playground for Upwey Central. My name is Lockie, and I'm nearly 2. Over the next 20 years, I hope that Yarra Ranges is a great place to be as a kid. Like most kids, I love playgrounds, and I'd love to see a really fun playground built in Upwey. Upwey doesn't have many playgrounds, so I'm sure it will be well used and very much appreciated. A new and exciting playground would certainly make a trip to the Upwey shops much more interesting for me, and for my mother, no doubt. And I have some great ideas for what this playground could include, and I'm sure other kids in Upwey do too. Please plan for play in Upwey. All right, so I'm going to hand over to Ellie to respond to this idea.
Sure. 2 years ago we released our family and children's strategy, and we got to speak to many kids, perhaps slightly older than Lockie too, but Lockie is very articulate and I'm sure, you know, give him a few years and he certainly could have been part of that strategy. And the strategy, as I said, reached a lot of kids aged between, you know, we went into preschools and we went right into primary schools and secondary schools and engaged with many community organisations and kids that we just saw out and about. And what we were really surprised and pleasantly surprised was with the amount of kids who were saying from Yarra Ranges, what I love about living in Yarra Ranges is the open environment and playing with my friends and being out and about. So when I see things like this from Lockie coming up about playgrounds, this is entirely consistent with what we've heard many times before. And I suppose council's really embraced this through the investment that we have put into playgrounds. And we're taking, based on the feedback that we got through the Family and Children Strategy and best practice and the experience that we've sort of observed with, say for example, the Montrose playground, which was done, a fabulous playground that's probably around about 7 or 8 years old now. And then after that, of course, was, with we got funding through the bushfire VBAF for Yarra Glen. And the playground at Yarra Glen, if you have been out there or seen that actually draws people from right outside the municipality. So it's got a huge sort of tourism and broader economic benefit, not just, for absolutely providing a playground for kids. And one of the areas that we really want to focus on is actually improve playgrounds for their accessibility. So we're really cognizant of making playgrounds not only accessible for all kids and of all abilities. And I'd also like to say for all ages, because we're an age-friendly council, so many playgrounds and best practice playgrounds have, so for example, built into it equipment for anybody to exercise. Like, why not? So these playgrounds are for really about communities to come together, family and friends to get together and provide that sort of social recreation in the great outdoors. And also it's so healthy too, isn't it? It's providing everyone with an opportunity to exercise. Now, I can't respond today to Lockie's query about upweight per se, but I can respond, and what I've done is provide a more broader response in terms of our strategy for playgrounds going forward. And I would like to just say that Council's just invested $500,000 and put in a grant and was successful, and the state government has funded, matched that funding to improve or redo the playground at Lilydale. And that will be a playground that has that sort of access for all abilities for it. So we're really excited to be providing that opportunity. And then again, it'll be one of a huge tourism draw card for people not only living across Yarra Ranges, but people come to Lilydale Lake. They've been following Pokemon and gathering Pokemon things lately, but they'll be coming there just to enjoy that playground.
We're going to move on to the next issue, which is about tourism, and is Katie Kookaburra, is she in the room? Katie Kookaburra, do you want to come up and present your idea? We've got a special spot for you. Now, I just want to ask, Katie Kookaburra is not your real name, though, is it?
Really?
Is it?
Mary Kookaburra.
Do you want me to explain?
You come up here and you can explain if you can. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes for online stalking very difficult.
Thanks. Well, the reason when I replied to our say, I did it on my iPad, and my iPad is on my Facebook page, which is Katie Kookaburra's Facebook page. And Katie Kookaburra came into existence because I actually run a bed and breakfast in Mount Evelyn, and I had to set up a Facebook page for it, and I didn't want to set up a Facebook page in my name. So I used this Katie Kookaburra. And we've got 12 kookaburras who come to be fed anyway, so I don't know which one is Katie, but she visits quite often. So that's why. Okay, so, all right, so as you can read, this is what I've written. Tourism is one of the major industries in the Yarra Ranges, and yet The Yarra Ranges Council doesn't have a tourism button on its website. I checked tonight, still hasn't got one. No one visiting the Yarra Ranges Council's website would know what jewels exist in this area. This raises the question of how committed the council is to tourism. Tourism brings in millions of dollars and actually has the potential to increase to billions of dollars, thereby providing employment, support, and safeguard for the environment. Improvement of infrastructure and support for its communities, and everyone benefits. Council needs to educate itself on the potential possibilities rather than be obstructive and inhibitive. There is a major gap in Council's development department, and that is tourism. It's not even mentioned on their website. Council needs to work and be seen to work cooperatively with businesses, communities and individuals towards a common purpose of making the Yarra Ranges a place of great beauty, opportunity and a wonderful place to live. We all know that. Thank you.
Thanks. I just feel like I have to call you Katie Kookaburra
Okay,
because
well,
Mary,
yeah.
normally I call you Mary, but what an opportunity. And I did look, it's probably my naivety, but I did look on that site and I went, oh well, that's amazing. There is actually someone called Katie Kookaburra in the Yarra Ranges. How cool is that? But hearing that was used.
My secret's out now.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't actually totally surprised because, you know, we've had several conversations about, and, you know, just absolutely love your passion, Mary, for all things tourism in the Yarra Ranges, and totally take your point about, you know, why isn't tourism on the council's website, and that's something that, you know, we'll be going to address and immediately rectify. Because what I'd like to do is just really quickly just take the opportunity just to say a few things that council does do, because we absolutely appreciate that tourism is so important for Yarra Ranges and its residents and everyone who visits here. It's so critically important for our overall economy, the job creation, etc. And you know, there's so many people just like you, Mary, who you know, are gaining a living from tourism. So we want to work with you, the community, to grow our tourism and what we have on offer here at the Yarra Ranges. So one of the biggest things, and I'll just say this, you know, quite quickly, is that we have a partnering agreement with Yarra Ranges Tourism, and that's the major way we support tourism. So we're going to make a link from our website to Yarra Ranges Tourism, and so council has that agreement, and we work very closely with Tourism Victoria, and where we really support the marketing and industry development of tourism operators across the region. A couple of things just really quickly that we've just brought on in the last year, for example, that have been major successes, are putting lots of efforts into sponsorship. So some of you might have seen the balloon event that was that got a lot of media attention out in the Yarra Valley. The cycling event that we had just probably about 6 months ago that drew in some international competitors. So we really have got a range of projects, not only just for the Yarra Valley but also down the Warburton Corridor and also in the Dandenong Ranges. But we do understand that the urban area absolutely benefits from that too. So we are always looking for ideas and really want to embrace people like you, Mary, and get your ideas and bring them in so we can make tourism even stronger for the region. Thanks.
Is Jenny Stroh in the room today? I don't think Jenny can make it, unfortunately. No. All right. We'll move on quickly to the next topic. So food plantings throughout the township, from veggies in planter boxes alongside ornamentals to fruit trees along road verges and vacant pockets of land. Imagine tapping the abundance of horticultural knowledge and know-how in this amazing soil and climate zone we inhabit. Let's educate and feed our community. Plenty of towns across the planet have been successful with this. Enhance local economy, build community, expand ways of managing risk. Ellie.
Thank you, and what an important issue for Yarra Ranges, because you know, we have such a strong agribusiness out here, and you know, we have a very strong economy that contributes very much not only to the food for Yarra Ranges but Victoria and Australia. So, but we also have this issue of food security. So we know people aren't getting access to good quality foods or nutritious foods, in particular fruit and veg. So we're really concerned about that at council and as is the community. So the things that we're doing at council to address that is actually really trying to encourage where possible the establishment of community gardens. There's lots of community gardens that have been set up in schools. And we also have a partnering agreement with a group called Ecos Yarra Valley too, who are a sustainable organisation out in the Warburton Valley there. So there's always things that council and community can be doing, and we're really interested in hearing your views on how we can support this more, given this absolutely pressing issue for our community and our residents.
This is the last one before we're going to get into priority setting for the next 4 years and then the next 20. This is from Lou Belchero. A Great New Forests National Park that provides quality and diverse experiences for locals and tourists alike, that also protects and enhances biodiversity, water quality across the Yarra Ranges. I'll invite Ellie to respond to this emerging issue coming up on our say.
Again, so important for our region in Yarra Ranges, 2,500 square kilometres, and 2/3 of that is either parks and waterways. So we always absolutely recognise the beautiful area that we have, and also that we're custodians for a short period of time, and whatever we do, we need to leave it not only the way we found it, but actually in a better way, and that's to ensure that we have a strong economy and an environment that is really why that we all really choose to live and work and play in Yarra Ranges. So really looking forward to the conversations on your table on how the community and council can work together to absolutely enhance the biodiversity and water quality and everything that Lou mentions in his in his statement there.
All right, so we're going to move into the next part. This is kind of the really critical part of this process. So we've actually kind of forced you to sit through a whole range of issues that perhaps you were aware of and perhaps you understood, but perhaps you didn't know about it, and you've perhaps learnt something about the breadth and depth of challenges facing the community. So now what we want you to do is, given the discussions you had, we want you to move to the next part of the conversation, step 4, which is about discussing about what you'd like to see council focus on for the next 4 years. Now, to get there, what I want, I'm going to give you 10 minutes for this conversation. So the last conversations have been 3 minutes and they've been quite high-paced. This one we're going to give you a little bit more time. And what we want you to do is chair a conversation around what does each person around the table personally want council to focus on. Okay, so everyone needs to have a shot at talking. Okay, and then at the tail end of that conversation, I want to see if you can then, as a group, come up with a focus area that kind of sits above all of those ideas, right? And see if you can agree on one focus. Now, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and it's not a competition of ideas. It's not a competition of ideas. It's about actually thinking of a focus that sits above everyone else's priority, yeah? And it's an active deliberation, right? So you need to kind of negotiate a little bit, but you need to sort of see if you can elevate the focus a little bit, all right? Does that make sense? So we want you to chair. This is going to be challenging for you guys, but you're well practiced now. So you need to chair a conversation. Everyone gets to nominate their focus area, and then as a group, I want to see if you can. You might not be able to do it, but I want to see if you can get to one focus area that sits above all of those. Okay? And you've got 10 minutes. All right? All good? All right, good luck.
Hold on. We're just going to give an idea.
The one thing that I see is missing is toilet, public toilets and those sort of venues and that sort of thing.
not everybody loves dogs and not everybody wants a dog running up to it when it's walking, when they're walking in the park.
When people look at a little triangle underneath their recycling, Maddie, they don't understand 1 to 6 can go in a recycling bin.
All right, we're going to share a few. So just very quickly, maybe the chair from each table, what was the focus area that you all could agree on?
We all came up with different ideas which we felt were valuable. Probably the biggest thing was we feel that there should be some sort of welfare cooperative system whereby we have a centrally coordinated system of people helping one another on a point system. How this would work, I'm not sure, but we do recognise that we have key issues of there is very little support for ageing or people in dire need after hospitalisation and so on, with help with transport, with help around home maintenance and such matters. We have a big problem with transport throughout the Shire because the buses don't they don't go everywhere. We have whole areas like Kilsyth that isn't connected to the rest of the Shire. We don't have buses that connect with trains, so we've got a big parking problem. So we do need to have a rethink on our bus system, and we do need more community buses.
Well, for all our discussion, we said that the really important thing is for council to drill down deeper than it's ever gone before. Yeah. To really and to work with community, to really start a conversation with organisations, with the community, so they can really understand what the issues are for the people who live in this beautiful region.
So building the strength of the community through education and communication.
Okay, so increasing that two-way conversation.
Absolutely, that we're all responsible for the community that we live in. We're responsible for each other. Let's build on that.
Yeah. What we're going to do, actually, we're running 3 more community conferences over the next week or so. And what we're actually doing is we're capturing everything that's been written down, and we're going to be putting it directly into a report. So you'll be able to read, hopefully, the things that you've said in today's session. You'll actually see it on paper. So, and that will be coming out very soon. Where to from here? So the forum is still live. So we're having this is the Kilsyth Community Conference, but we're having a whole of community conversation online. And so this will be running for another 3 weeks. And you can actually keep the conversation. So some of the insights and things that you've picked up today, so we'll have that for the next 3 weeks. In the meantime, we'll be wrapping up 3 more of these conversations and then folding into that community report. So stay tuned. We'll keep you in the loop. We'll make sure that we get back to you with everything, the final report. And we really look forward to seeing where this lands in a couple of weeks. Okay, so thank you very much for tonight. Thanks to council and thanks to the councillors for attending. And especially thank you to all of you for taking precious time out of your schedule to come here tonight and share your ideas. So, yeah. So round of applause on that.